All right, guys, accountability is oversold. Welcome to the MorrowMarriage podcast. Why people stay together for the kids, and it's not what you think. Why men are not leading in their home.
I'm Cass.
I'm Kathryn.
Not so obvious ways to get the sex back.
So when you dated your husband in the beginning, did you ever answer the door with your hair all crazy? We're MorrowMarriage.
Let's flip divorce statistics with the new marriage.
All right, guys, accountability is oversold. Welcome to the MorrowMarriage podcast, where we talk about health, wealth, and relationship. And why? Because we saved the most abusive, toxic, disgusting marriage on the planet. We came back from the depths of hell, and we did it broke. And we used to own a gym, so we can help you with everything. You're welcome. All right, so let's get into it. Accountability is oversold. This is near and dear to my heart, and the reason why I introduced the show today that way is because we can help with health, wealth, and relationship. And accountability from coaches, trainers, however you want to look at it, everywhere is oversold. I think it's oversold. And now, before we started this, Kathryn saw the topic and said, I'm interested to see where you're going with this. Let me start it. Let me just see what you think. I am so sick and tired. I mean, we spent a lot of money on coaches, hundreds of thousands of dollars on coaches, courses, mentors, and the accountability is always thrown in there. I feel like ever since we hired Alex Hormozy, where we sold it ourselves at the gym after he taught us, right? We don't just sell nutrition. We don't just sell fitness. We sell accountability, right? But we truly did.
We did sell accountability.
We did. We talked, we didn't talk about why they weren't eating right. We talked about why they weren't eating right. Oh my gosh, you're having marriage problems, right? You're having troubles at work. Now that's great. We can call that accountability, and we can get to the bottom of things, and we can say that we're working together. And here's the reason why I call bullshit and why it's oversold is throughout the years of mentoring, and well, back then training, what we're finding is simple. If you don't answer the phone, if you don't join the Zoom calls, if you don't watch the course modules, there is no accountability. There's nothing to buy with accountability. Now, you can say, I'd like you to hold me accountable and make sure you're on the calls, use the modules, use the Zoom calls, but then you still have to follow through. So we can check on you, but again, you still have to answer the calls. What do you think about that, babe?
I think that's true. I think when you apply yourself in the beginning, so where accountability really comes in is, yes, you have to do the work, of course. But if you show up in the beginning when you're excited, so if you're in a 12-week program or a 6-week program and you show up for the first 7 days, the relationship that you build with your coaches is going to help them keep you accountable, because now you're going to feel a healthy, and I say this carefully, but a healthy amount of guilt when you don't come to the calls.
Right. Because
now they're going to think, oh, Kathryn's expecting me on this call, and if I don't show up, Kathryn's going to be upset. Well, yeah, Kathryn's going to be upset because I just spent 7 days with you and I just got, invested in your situation. So if you don't show up, I'm going to be upset. So, right, if you don't show up, there's no accountability even possible. But if you can invest yourself just in the beginning when things are super exciting, whether that's weight loss, learning how to run a new business, or trying to fix your marriage, get on fire in the very beginning, because that is going to help you hold yourself accountable, because you're going to feel a healthy level of shame or guilt when you decide not to do what it is you said you were going to do. And then when somebody does call you, when Kathryn calls you and says, where were you on my call today? You're going to feel apologetic. If you didn't build a relationship with me in the first week, then you're not going to feel guilty. You're not going to feel apologetic because you don't know me yet. So you have to build relationships. Yeah. Accountability is so connected to relationships.
Yeah, I totally agree. So, I would feel better if coaches were saying we're selling, which we do. Like, we don't sell when we're on the phone. We're building.
We literally build relationships on the phone. Do you want to work with us or not?
We often coach and say, do you like that? Okay, let's move on, right? And that's what I want you guys to understand. Thank you. You said it perfectly. Whether you're talking about hiring your trainer, your relationship coach, your therapist, whether you're talking about a business coach, it's the relationship that you build that can start that. Because ultimately, you said this, I don't know if you even caught it, but it's about holding yourself accountable, the healthy level of shame and guilt that you feel when you don't follow through. Often this can be tied to money as well. For example, I've certainly learned, we do a lot with pay-as-you-can plans, guys. If you're really stuck, when our businesses do well, we try to make sure we can help everybody. It's either the dumbest business decision we've ever made or the best thing we can ever do to fulfill our purpose. But we do pay as you can. If you qualify, you can figure out what that's worth and you can join us. But along that path, we've learned that, people who pay, well, they value and use. People who don't tend to
Use and
abuse.
abuse.
Yeah, use and abuse, right?
Yeah.
Maybe don't even use. So you have to learn to be able to take yourself, hold yourself accountable. Taking radical responsibility is the new term that we're using these days. And it's literally because we are so frustrated with so many people. And again, we are on your side. We've spent so much money with coaches and courses. But the difference is we know how to hold ourselves accountable. So whenever they sold us accountability, that wasn't the thing. I got rid of a coach today, that podcast one today. I asked him to stop it today. I'll tell you why. Wonderful program, but I'm paying $1,000 a month for somebody to keep me accountable. I don't need it. I was on 15 podcasts last month. If you don't know how to get on the podcast, go to that program. But the bottom line is I don't need that. You're buying accountability. You don't need it either. You need to learn how to stay consistent and follow through.
That brings me to the next point.
Mhm.
Well, my next point. I don't know what yours is, but
Mhm.
when you are signing up for anything, if you need accountability, and if you think, okay, I need the motivation, I need the accountability, you know what's going to motivate you? Making sure you sign up for the right program. Making sure that the program structure and the people resonate with you. So if you're signing up for my program, you better be picking up what I'm putting down. Otherwise, you are not, it's going to be impossible to hold you accountable. Cass asks on his calls, because we do screening calls to take people into our program. He says, if I ask you to do something that seems a little weird for you, are you going to be on board? Because I'm going to ask you to do things that you probably have never heard before and that no one else has had the balls to tell you to do. Are you going to do it? Because you need to let me lead you if you want to be in this program. And so when someone signs up with us, or no matter who you sign up with, whatever kind of coaching, it could be anything. Do you admire the person that you're literally following the footsteps behind that person? So if you can't follow that person, it's going to be really hard to hold yourself accountable. So when you were saying about this program, well, it's obviously not the program for you. You're not admiring them because you already know how to complete these steps. You don't need them to be calling you and checking up on you. You need to be taught a new skill. They're not teaching you anything new right now. So you have to say, okay, goodbye. You're no longer a fit for what I'm looking for. So it's really important that you find a fit for where it is you're trying to go, but also a person that you can say, I would like to be like that person. I would like to have what that person has, because that is going to drive you intrinsically, which is internally. It's going to drive you from the inside because it's what you want. It's what you see. It's what you want. And when you see it and you want it, you can go get it. You can do anything, but you have to be willing to follow.
I love that you just said that, because I think if we're talking about accountability and how it's oversold, I think that is the most important part. Stop looking for someone to hold you accountable and look for, if it matters to you enough because of the example, the resonating with you, that you just want what they have, that you're willing to do whatever it takes to have what they have. Guys, I don't care if you're talking about fitness. I mean, it's no secret. A lot of personal trainers are overweight. To me, that makes no sense. We were in shape when we owned a gym. We're still in shape. Like, we can help you with their health. Like, I just don't understand. We have a great marriage. We can do this. Like, we obviously rebuilt our life financially when we lost everything with COVID. Like, I don't understand why you're looking to pay for accountability when consistency, if you don't believe me, look at the coaching calls that go on YouTube. The amount of guys that say, I need help being consistent, it's like, literally just put it in your fucking calendar. Like, honestly, I found a new thing with my watch. I was so excited to tell Kathryn just yesterday. I was like, honey, you can ask Siri to set you a reminder with your Apple Watch with an alarm, as long as it's within 24 hours. Now I'm setting a calendar, reminders, and alarms.
It's pretty cool.
But yeah, like, literally, I'm getting so much stuff done faster because I don't have to like go put it in the app or whatever, like, that's accountability, because you hold yourself accountability. You know what you have to get done. And so please stop buying accountability. It's not what it is.
Because it's over promised and under delivered. That's the other thing.
Because it's impossible
oversold
to deliver.
Well, and it's a buzzword. So people will say, I'm going to hold you accountable, but do they actually? So the reason that he said we had success at our gym was because we truly held people accountable. But how did we do that? Relationship. We built the relationship, like I said, and then we did have check-ins. We had people calling, like we were relentless.
I like to do the calls even. Like,
personally, you did the calls. And he used to say, we're going to be on your front step with a 1980s boombox or something. Like,
we're that's right.
Playing love songs, making sure you come to your window. Like, we
right.
held people accountable, and that's how they got results. So we didn't overpromise the accountability. We didn't oversell it. We actually, we over-delivered instead of under-delivered. So I think you just need to be very careful, because people will say there's accountability, there's that. No, there's actually not. What they have is a structure, but if you don't follow it, there is no accountability if you don't have it yourself. needs that personal touch. So it's not like you have to give up on accountability. Just be very selective with what type of accountability you think that you're buying. Ask questions about it.
Oh, I didn't think about going here today, but now you just inspired me. So that's one of the reasons why we have a men's group, a women's group, why you have the support, is because you'll end up building relationships with so many more people that you don't want to let multiple people down.
Right.
And that is more powerful. Same as our gym was a group fitness. So you get, you go at 6 o'clock and you see the same moms every day, and you're all of a sudden like, oh my gosh, this is like, you don't want to let everybody down.
Relationship.
Right? Relationship. So it's look beyond and don't fall for the little Facebook group thing. Like, it has to be a super awesome, they've got everything going on, support around the world. Like, there's enough of it out there, guys. Even again, if it's not with us, it's got to be somebody you can rely on. I'll give you an example. I talked to a guy yesterday who joined the program. He's got some drug issues and he's got some abusive issues, being the abuser. He's going to go through some ups and downs. He cried on the call, honey, because he heard the fight that we had, the recorded one, the lessons we taught. He cried during that. So here, let's use this as an example. He's going to go through a low, having a fight with his wife, and want to give up, want to quit, not just care at all, blame her for everything. So he might ghost me.
But if he builds a relationship with the team
Mhm.
and with the other men, he's not the only drug user that we have in the program. He's not the only abusive spouse that we have in the program. So when he goes through that and he feels like he wants to walk away, but he's got all these men saying, hey man, I went through this. I got through it. Stick with us. What's that? Accountability.
That's where it matters, which is really your relationships.
Yeah.
Right. So, we called it accountability is oversold today. Maybe we should say accountability is relationships.
Yeah.
Please tell the world. But first, practice what you're going to tell. All right, guys. See you later.
Bye.